How's it going, guys? And welcome to the official announcement of the King of the Tomb Invitational. So, over the course of the past couple of weeks, I've been playing a lot of 2v2 games, and I've also been posting quite a few on the channel, and I've been having a lot of fun playing as well as watching them. And something that I feel is really cool about the 2v2 format for a tournament is it's going to open up a lot of units and factions that you normally wouldn't see in a competitive metagame. So, for example, you could see something like Chaos Trolls, and Chaos Trolls, on paper, very good stats. They have pretty good melee attack for a monstrous unit, good melee defense, and on top of that, they hit like trucks with 100 armor or something, 90 or 100 armor, really good weapon strength, but they have horrible leadership. So potentially, like a 2v2 team could bring Bretonia and put like Grail Reliquaries in the front line, like buffing the trolls. They could bring the Fey Enchantress for Lore of Life to be healing these like large monsters that normally don't have access to healing. So I feel like one of the things that's going to be really interesting about this tournament is you're potentially going to see a lot of synergies between factions that you just never would really have the opportunity to see in kind of a 1v1 tournament. So as such, it's going to be a 2v2 tournament. And you guys can probably see above me, I'm pretty terrible at video editing, but there should be the bracket up here. So you guys can see the bracket, the format, the basic rules. We're going to be a little bit light on the rules. We're not going to kind of restrict too much because I feel like most of the fun in this is going to be seeing a lot of ridiculous builds and things like that. But players are still going to be having to follow ladder parameters. So on ladder, for example, you can only bring one Necrosphinx and then you can bring the Regiment Renowned with the Tomb Kings. So we're going to be still following that because we don't want players bringing like 5 Necrosphinxes or just like 5 Iroh Titans. Granted, it would be funny to see, but we want to have some structure to the tournament, so we're going to be going that route. So the general format, we're going to be having 3 rounds. There's going to be initial rounds, which you can see there's going to be 8 teams playing in total. There's going to be semifinals, and then there's going to be the finals. So the finals will be live streamed. For the most part, this is going to be an offline tournament because we do have a lot of players. So with 8 teams, we have 16 players playing in the tournament. Some are in the UK, some are in Eastern Europe. We have some folks here on the West Coast, East Coast. So time zones are a little bit all over the place. So just to make it easier for the participants to kind of get their matches and play with their opponents, it's going to be an offline tournament. So people can just kind of find them in conjunction with their free time, and they can get the games in from there. So as soon as a team, so let's say, for example, in Group A, team Herbert Walker plays against Olaf Skinks. They're going to send me the replays, and as soon as I get the replays, I can validate the game. I can update this bracket, which will be in the comment section below. So if you guys look below, there's going to be a link to the Google Doc, so you guys can actively follow the progress of the tournament and see, who won what round and, the records and the scores and everything. But every single one of these rounds is going to be cast on my channel. So they're all going to be up there. You guys will be able to follow all the action, all the good times, and, all the shenanigans. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So yeah, it's going to be Group A, B, C, and D. So each one is going to have 2 teams just playing, and each match will be a best of 3, or each round, I should say. So each round is going to be a best of 3. So these guys are going to play best of 3. Everyone else will. Definitely will be a good time. It's going to be single elimination format. So as they progress, whoever loses in the first round, so let's say that the Fighting Mongooses go down or Total Brohammer does, whatever, they're going to be eliminated from the tournament. So it's not going to be like a Swiss tournament where everyone plays everyone. It's just going to be a bracketed kind of advancement single elimination tournament, which is going to be pretty fun. So one of my biggest pet peeves with Total War in general is kind of a, faction dodging. So when you go into like the selection screen and you're just kind of if I pick vampire counts and, your opponent picks greenskins, all right, so you both pick your factions and your opponent oftentimes will just switch to a counter pick. And I feel like that's one of the more kind of detracting things from multiplayer, and it's very frustrating to play against. Granted, most factions can take their counter picks and there is a chance to win, and it does kind of force you to innovate and whatnot. But in this tournament, I want it to just have the feel like you're playing in a StarCraft tournament, for example. So you pick Terran or Protoss or Zerg before you go into the match, and that's who you're going to play. And you don't know what your opponent's going to play. And as such, this tournament is going to be the exact same format. So each team, so for example, my team down here is the Walking Haggard, and we're going to be playing against Wa Inc. So Wa Inc., as well as the Walking Haggard, is going to have to send the admin of the tournament all 3 of their faction compositions beforehand. So you're going to have myself, I could say we're going to play Greenskins Wood Elves in game 1. In game 2, we're going to play Wood Elves Vampire Counts. In game 3, we're going to play Empire Dwarves. So the other team's not going to see that. It's just going to be sent to the administrator, who, when they then watch the replays back afterwards, is going to validate and make sure that the teams played the teams that they committed to. So I think that's going to be a little bit better for keeping everyone honest. And granted, I know pretty much everyone in this tournament personally. I don't think anybody would do that. But just as kind of setting a bit of a precedent, I think that would be very good for the tournament. So that's going to be how we're going to be doing that. Everyone has to send that in, and they have to do that for all the matches. So the first matches are going to be best of 3s, best of 3. Now, I wrote up here all rounds will be best of 3, and that might be something I might change. I have to think about that. We might have the finals be a best of 5 because it is going to be a live stream format. So I think a more long form type game might be a little bit more fun. The stream might go 1 to 2 hours, which I think is more enjoyable for the audience. So that's something that I would love to hear your guys' feedback in the comment section below. But for the most part, these are all going to be best of 3 matches. Disputes are going to be settled via replay. So if there's a few things we want to avoid, and hopefully everyone who's playing is going to be watching this. Obviously, no corner camping, and we want all players to actively be engaging. So we don't want one the team should just be waiting in the forest. You can't do that. You can't play Wood Elves and just sit in the forest and wait for your opponent. You're going to have to advance towards them unless you have like an artillery piece. So for example, if you're playing Dwarves in Empire and the Dwarf has like 3 cannons or something, and there's a Hellblaster volley gun, the other team's going to have to advance assuming the artillery is shooting. So there's a couple things like that. No draw kiting. If someone's draw kiting and they're out of ammunition, we're obviously going to call that a disqualification. So just kind of the general rules that you guys see in most competitive Warhammer. But we're also not going to be as strict as like a traditional tournament, simply because it's going to be the Wild West. It's 2v2, so it's literally a new frontier. And something I'm very excited about seeing is what kind of weird factions are people bringing, and that's something else. For any of you guys watching, I'd love to hear some thoughts in the comment section below. Like, what would be some faction synergies you guys can think of off the top of your head that would be obscenely powerful and really cool? Because, man, like just kind of theory crafting a little bit, there's some stuff that I think is going to be insane. Like, just having like for example, if someone wants to do, not to throw this one out there, but like Balthazar Gelt, Double Witch Hunter mixed with like another nuking character, like Hand of the Gods from Krokar for like an instant one. Like, there's a lot of stuff now. There's going to be counterplay. There are 2 factions you're fighting against. It's very likely you're going to have healing. The opponent's going to have something just as lethal. So it's literally just, it's going to be the Wild West. And I'm incredibly excited for this tournament. And again, I will be casting every single one on the channel. So you guys are going to have a chance to see all of these, and the finals will be live streamed. So right here, if you guys look over here on the right-hand side, you can see that all rounds, you can see the general rules. This might be changed. I didn't get a chance to like proofread and like do all this stuff on here, but yeah, these are the general rules. The first place team, I'm going to be paying, there's a prize for $50 US. It's not a lot, but if this tournament is popular and you guys really enjoy the format, I'll be putting these on maybe like every other month or something. And the prize pool will become bigger, and maybe I can allow people in the community to kind of like crowdsource it. So if you guys want to put in for a prize pool to just make it the cockfights that much more ferocious, maybe that's something we can do in the future. But for this time, I'm just going to be putting down a $50 prize pool for the first place team. And yeah, a lot of rules must be followed. So you can see the maps here for any of you guys who want to see the maps that the players have to fight on. So in the initial round right here, Warpstone Mine, Iron Sand Desert, Pillar of Bone. Second round is going to be Altdorf Outskirts, Central Chaos Waste, and Castle Drakenhof. Then it's going to be Cliff of Beasts, the Bitter Dunes, and the Tower of Hoeth. So those are kind of all the maps that players are going to have to play on, obviously being a best of 3. And if it does go to best of 5, we decide to do that for the finals, I'll add a couple more maps in. And like I said, there's going to be a live document that all of you guys have access to, so you'll be able to see like the tournament bracket, and I'll update it as soon as the round finishes. I'll put like 2-1 here, and then whoever goes to the next round, I'll make sure to update that. So lastly, let's introduce you guys to some of the competitors. This is a lot of great personalities in this event. It's going to be quite a bit of fun. And first and foremost, of course, we have the Walking Haggard. So that's going to be my team. That's going to be myself and Professor Pone, who you guys probably know from Blood Bowl. He plays the Halflings, and he's also the gentleman who always manages to snipe me on my quick battle streams, and he's definitely a terror in the night. So myself and Professor Pone are going to be a teammate. We have Wa Incorporated, which is going to be Black Iron Battles. He has a YouTube channel as well. And Gojira Gaming is his channel, so we have quite a few YouTubers in this, actually. Total Brohammers, that's going to be Jonton and Sakarma. They have a YouTube channel, Total Brohammer. They run it together. Quick Battles, Jonton is a very competitive Empire player, just competitive player in general. I think he's always in like the top 20 or top 50. And he's going to be playing with his channel partner, Sakarma. And yeah, so they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. We have the Fighting Mongooses. I don't know why that wasn't bolded there, but the Fighting Mongooses is going to be some gentleman from our Discord. It's going to be Licking Ann and Singularity. And yeah, Licking Ann actually plays the Amazons on our Blood Bowl League. So if you guys want to see and get to know his personality a little bit, you can go back and watch that game. A really cool dude for sure. Then we have Jag, so Janet and Gabo. So this is going to be the Gabo King and Janet on occasion, and I'm sure all of you guys know them. Gabo King and Janet both have YouTube channels, very good players, and it's gonna be a competitive one for sure. And then we got Ola Skinks. That's going to be Dov Plays, none other than Dov Pays himself, and he's going to be teaming up with Lore Master of Sotek, and they're going to be playing, well, I don't know their army compositions yet, but yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling we're going to see Lizardmen with those guys, but they also have channels. I mean, almost everyone here does have YouTube channels or some sort of a platform that you guys can go scout out. If you guys got any, sweet tips for taking them out, make sure to let me know. We got Pharaoh of War and Shetland Apache representing team or clan CC. I think it stands for Cycle Charge. So they're a clan, pretty great players. And Shetland Apache, he's the gentleman who hosts like all these tournaments you guys watch. So the Princess Pittance, just all these big Warhammer Cups that have been going on over pretty much since the inception of the game. Like, he's been one of the leading forces and advocates in the multiplayer community, really been kind of pushing for that. And of course, Pharaoh of War. So you guys have seen Pharaoh in my best of fives. He's a great player, really cool dude, has a channel himself, and he plays in a lot of these major tournaments, and he'll also upload the tournament footage and does a lot of co-casts. I've seen him do a couple with Gabo King, so make sure to check him out as well. So he's going to be representing Team Cycle Charge, so they're both in that clan. And the last team is going to be a gentleman. I just met him recently. He seems like a very nice guy. And his channel, I think he has a Twitch channel, and the Twitch channel is my son Herbert Walker. And I'll make sure to have links to all of their media platforms in the comment section below. So if you guys want to go check out any of the competitors, I'll make sure to put links to all of their platforms and everything. But I believe he's a Twitch streamer, very good player from what I've heard. And I don't know who his teammate is yet, so we're going to be finding that out relatively soon. But for the most part, he'll be there, and he's going to be bringing one of his friends as well. So those are all the competitors. I know it was a little bit long-winded. Hopefully you guys don't mind me rambling about all these guys. And you can see the matchup. So first, Group A, we're going to have Team Herbert Walker facing off against Dog Plays and Sotek. We're going to have Team Cycle Charge, so that's going to be Pharaoh and Shetland Apache facing off against Janet and Gobbo King. The Fighting Mongooses are going to be fighting against Total Brohammer. WA Incorporated, which is Gojira and Black Iron, are going to be fighting against myself and Professor Pone. And I can't remember if I gave shout out. Yeah, Black Iron Battles has a YouTube channel as well. I don't know if I gave that a shout out. I might have skipped over. But he's also the commissioner of our Blood Bowl League. So he plays the Greenskins in our league, and he basically runs everything. He sends out like weekly emails about our Blood Bowl League. He's just a really awesome dude. So definitely would recommend checking him out. And I think he started streaming his games as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the tournament, guys. Like I said, it's going to be offline, so I'm going to be everyone's going to be playing their matches, sending me the replays, and as soon as I get those replays, I will cast them and try and get them up the next day. And even if I have to put a couple up in a day just to keep pace with the tournament, I'm going to do my best to try and hopefully we can get this done in like 1 week is very ambitious, but in reality, there's only 3 rounds, so it could be possible, but we're going to try and get it done in 1 to 3 weeks. I am going to Poland actually next week, so there might be a slight interruption in the kind of the finals, but we could also do the first 2 rounds and then have the finals when I get back. So maybe that'll be the format we do that. So thanks again for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed and you guys are hyped and excited. Make sure to check out all the participants in the tournament, and there will also be a link to the tournament bracket. So there will be a Google document that's live. You guys will be able to watch and do all that kind of stuff and see what's going on. So yeah, make sure to check that out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for now. So stay tuned for any updates on the King of the Tomb Invitational. And I would like to now officially announce the tournament is open. So anyone who's playing in the tournament and watching this video, you're more than welcome to go challenge your opponents right now. The rules are set, the maps are set. But remember, before you play your opponent, you need to send me the factions you're playing. It's very, very important. Because again, we want to keep people from kind of dancing and switching their factions based on what their opponent picks. We want people to have to play and adapt with what they go in with. So obviously, I've seen a lot of people kind of practicing some pretty sweet builds in the shadow. So we'll see what people pick. So thanks again for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed and have an excellent night and take care.